Today is Friday, July 26th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, Tesley, Coney, NVDY, and Misty. Quick update from yesterday's video. I was able to recover the trades from the day prior. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Happy Camper. If you don't know who she is, you may want to check her out. She covers Ulti, which I know a lot of people love, and she covers pretty much every other YieldMax fund. So I'm going to pin her YouTube channel to the top of the comments. So yeah, go check her channel out. Show her some love. She works very hard on her videos, and I know it takes a lot of time. So anyway, I did update my data with the accurate numbers, but I'm not going to go through that. We're going to talk about the trades from July 25th. Obviously, that was yesterday. So, and of course, there was a freaking ton of trades yesterday. So we had Tesley, we had NVDY, and then we had Coney. I almost missed Coney, but luckily I caught it this morning. But either way, we'll talk about Tesley first. So, as always, if you wanted to access the intraday trades, they're available through the website, YieldMax website. They post them every day. They're available after hours once the market closes, typically around 5 p.m. But they go away, the morning after. So you have to be fast if you wanted to gather them yourself. The good part is, though, the intraday trades, they come in one shot. So no matter what fund you pick, if you hit intraday trades, you'll see all of the trades for every single fund. So I like it. It's better that way for me because I could just take, one picture, boom, done. And move on. So anyway, what the heck did Tesley do? So you see a whole bunch of transactions, right? So we'll go through, I'm not going to go through too much detail, but obviously you see the date. Obviously that's the date of the transaction, which was yesterday. The fund, you see the ticker, that's the ticker who made the trade, Tesley. And then Tesley's underlying under ticker is Tesla. And then after that, just think of it as date and strike, okay? So they from there on out, they have types BC, buy to close, SS, short sale, and then quantities, number of contracts, and then execution price is how much they paid. So just looking at this, for the most part, you could see that they closed a bunch of transactions and then they opened new ones, right? So BC, buy to close, they paid pennies to close transactions, and then SS, short sale, they sold calls for new transactions and made some money. So let's take a look at what that looks like on the spreadsheet and see if it's good, bad, or what. All right, so let's find Tesley. Here we go. So Tesley has two synthetic positions. They have a 260 and a 265, both of which expire August 16th. But neither had activity yesterday. The trades yesterday were related to, just the weeklies. So, but these synthetic expire in 22 days, and typically the goal of these transactions is, we hope that the underlying can catch up to the strike of the synthetic. But either way, they will close and roll them at some point, which will happen. So, time will tell. But again, the synthetic position simply replaces just owning the underlying as it replicates the movement of the underlying stock. Now, what happened yesterday? Well, we had a damaging day the day before, as you know. Tesla took a dive, 12.33% down after earnings. And then the day after, a little recovery, not much. It recovered by 1.97%, but Tesley actually did much better. Tesley jumped 2.37%. So let's take a look at how that's possible. So if we look here, let's zoom. Yeah, we're gonna have to zoom out, or maybe we'll just do this in bits and pieces here. So at the top, wherever you see the red penny, so they paid a penny for all of their calls, right? Every single one, because they're so far out of the money. And that's typically the minimal, most brokers, the minimal you can pay if you want to close early is going to be a penny. So they paid the minimum, which is a penny, and ended up being about what, $32,000. So in the end, the whole thing, every trade last week was profitable. So they made about 13 mil in profit for last week's calls. So if you ask what's the point of investing in these funds, it's because they make premium. They make options premium, all right? And obviously they made a hell of it for last week. And then once they closed out those trades, they made some new trades. The 600 contracts was from the day prior. So we'll just look at what they did yesterday. They did two different positions. The biggest one is 31,735 contracts, 235 strike price. That's 6.7% out of the money. That's an expiration date of 8/2 though, which is 6 trading days now. And then the other position is 1,315 contracts, 237.50 strike, 7.83% out of the money. So how were these strike prices? Are they good? We don't know, right? Let's see what they yielded though. So one yielded 60%, the other yielded 47% if you annualize it. And their 30-day IV is 49%. So it's kind of in line. One's a little more aggressive, but that's okay. And, the one from the day prior was, yielding 72%. So they're set up for next week. Obviously, the other contract is a 230 strike, and that's now 4.43% out of the money. So again, their weeklies are done for the week, and they're set up for next week. So more than likely, they won't even have activity today unless they have new outstanding shares, which based on yesterday's change, they did. They had an increase of 575,000 in outstanding shares. So the recap for Tesley is 30-day IV, 49%. Outstanding shares, 49,950,000. Income from the weeklies still doesn't exist. Overall, they lost 22.1 million from the weeklies because obviously early on they lost a lot of money. Reaction though is pretty much they marked their checkbox. They're probably Tesley fund manager. He's probably taking a PTO today. He's like, yeah, I'm done. I don't have any trades to do today. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'm done and I'm moving on. So let's take a look at the payment details though. We have synthetic income for July, which was 122 mil. Now the short call income, the loss at least, decreased since the day prior. So it's only 22 mil. So now we're looking at net income of $100 million, right? So that's a total income per share of $2.01. So based on that, how much will they pay us? Again, it all depends on the yield. What are they trying to yield? Again, they typically strive to yield whatever their implied volatility rate is. But if they do a little better with the synthetic, then they'll give us a little reward, right? So if they make 201 for the month, then how much are they going to pay us? Are they going to pay us $2? Probably not. They're going to pay us $1.50. Maybe. They're going to pay us $1.25. That's definitely more possible. But I think we're definitely safe to say we're going to get paid over $1. That's just my guesstimate as of right now. But again, Tesley is doing rather well this month. I know their synthetic is not, looking pretty at the moment, but they have a little time to recover. So if we look at the holdings now, again, their synthetic is very expensive to close at the moment. You can see up at the top in pink, it cost them, about 135 million to close that. But again, it expires August 16th, so Tesla may have a recovery by then, so it won't be as bad. Now, as far as the calls, again, all these calls now, they expire, for next week, so no reason to really talk about that. But we can look at the net asset value of this fund, and it's 753 million. The NAV is 1509, and the trade price is 1510. So that's the update for Tesley. Tesley seems to be the best performing fund this month, even though it took, Tesla took a dive, which it had earnings. What could they do, right? But still think, so far so good. But now, we're going to start considering and thinking about the synthetic position. All right, let's check out the other trades, see what's going on. I mean, look at this, man. Are you kidding me? So, again, I don't want to bore you guys too much on the nitty gritty here, but you see the S at the top, right? So that means they sold a call. This was part of their synthetic though, and they BC'd the put. So 40,145 contracts, that's not the whole synthetic though. That's like a half of the synthetic. So they decided to close out a portion of their synthetic position, open a new position, and leave it at that. I mean, why? I don't know. Maybe it was strategic. Maybe there's a tax benefit. Again, I don't know. We'll take a look at the numbers and we'll go from there. And then below that, you see 4 BCs in a row. So obviously it looks like they closed out their calls that expired for today, July 26th. And they opened a new position, all eggs in one basket, 122 strike. So, but it looks like they got a $1.45 per share for that. So, all right, let's go to the spreadsheet and see what we look like here. Okay, NVDY, here we go. So we got two synthetics now. So if we go here, here's the reduction. They took away 40,145 contracts, and they were not in a profitable position, by the way. So this is not a synthetic bailout or anything. This is just a decision to move a portion of the synthetic to a lower strike price because maybe they think there's no recovery in sight, or maybe they wanted to take the loss, the taxable loss, in order to pay us a greater amount of return of capital. That's also a possibility. Again, I don't know, but we can just guess and think, and who the hell knows. But either way, they paid about 45 mil, 46 mil when all said and done, to close out the portion of that synthetic. So that gets added now to the July profits, which is a loss of 40.4 mil. Okay, so that's obviously going to get added to the payment detail. Now, if we scroll over, we go to the 115 synthetic position. Again, they added same amount of contracts, those same 40,145 contracts, buy, call, sell, put, cost them about 4.2 million to start this new position. And this new position, it does have a lower strike, obviously, and it has a later expiration date of September 20th, 57 days away. So I do like that part. So hopefully there's plenty of time for it to recover, and then maybe we can have some massive synthetic income coming from this piece. Again, we could still recover from the remainder of the other. It's a little tougher though, because how far back are we? 11.59% away from making a profit there. So again, probably a pure strategy behind this. This would have been a great day to interview Jay, because to just hear him, if he wanted to share the strategy here. So I don't know. Maybe he still does. So Jay, if you're listening, if you want to share that strategy, feel free to reach out to me and I could share it with the community. Hopefully he's listening. If not, one of his people maybe are, and they could let him know. If not, I could always try to email them and see if they can let me know. But I'm more curious than probably most of you. I don't know. But but yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think this was like for tax purposes, or do you think they just wanted to start the synthetic at a much lower strike price and allow it recover from there? But they still got 22 days, a little more than 3 weeks away from the current synthetic expiration date. Anyway, let's move on from synthetic talk. I don't want to bore you guys. Hopefully none of you fell asleep yet. So we got, yesterday, how did it do? Market's been freaking crazy, man. So, yesterday, the day before, it dipped 6.8%. That was the bloody day. And then yesterday, it still dipped NVIDIA dipped 1.72%, and NVIDIA dipped 1.72%, and NVIDY dipped 1.51%. So, that's not terrible. Now, if we look at the trades that they did, so they closed a whole bunch, right? But they only paid, they didn't pay a penny, but they paid 6 cents, 5 cents, 8 cents, which is essentially nothing. So obviously, every single trade for last week is in a profit. Very profitable. They made about 8, 10, 9, almost 10 mil for last week. So again, why are we in these funds? Well, to follow the underlying and make some money on options premium, because we don't want to do it, right? We don't have the time. We don't have the capital. We'll just pay the experts to do it. And they did very well last week. They were right. They boom, 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 done. Now, however, the trade for next week, let's just look at that one for now. That was 79,190 contracts. Again, this is the same number of contracts that they just closed. So they're reusing them right away, and they chose a 122 strike, and that's 8.66% out of the money. That's for 6 trading days, and that's an annualized yield of 58%. Their 30-day IV is 56%. So obviously this is the, perfect money shot right here. It makes sense, no complaints. Now we look at the other positions heading into next week. They have 600 and 500 contracts, both at 123 strike. And those are 9.55% out of the money. So again, 6 trading days. So we'll see. A lot can happen by then. As far as outstanding shares, though, there was no movement, no increase, no decrease. So the summary is we have a 30-day IV, 56%. We have outstanding shares totaling 35,575,000. NVIDY actually has weekly income. They have 39.2 mil in weekly income. That comes to $1.10 per share, which is a daily income of 5 cents a day and a daily yield of 0.19%. If you annualize that, it's about 68%. So that's perfect, man. Reaction is, NVIDY, again, like I said, with the strategic move, it's getting interesting, right? You don't see moves like that very often. You don't see them splitting up the synthetic. So it does get a little interesting. So that's why he looks a little smarter today, when all's said and done. Hopefully it was a smart move. We shall see. All right, so what do we got for payment detail? We got synthetic loss, unfortunately. Obviously, this is recent, but there's a synthetic loss now of 44.7 mil because we added, not only what we had from the 127 synthetic, but now we're adding what the 115 has, okay? So, since there's a synthetic loss, we will only focus on the short call income, because if the synthetic does not make money for the month, then typically they'll go by what they make on the short call income, assuming there is short call income. So the total short call income was what we just talked about, 39.2 mil, right? Which comes to $1.10 per share, you see in yellow. Now, what does that estimate to for the month? So with the remaining days left, if you add basically how much they earn per day on average, times the days till declaration, which is 11, I come up with $1.63, which is a 77% yield. So that's a pretty damn good number for NVIDY. I know it's not 247 like last month, but I think it's a very respectable number, very respectable payment. So let's hope that does happen. So now if you go to the holdings for NVIDY, now we got, of course, it's like Tesley now. We got two for the put, 2 for the call on the synthetic. And again, not much to talk about. We'll see how that plays out. But again, they took a hit, right? A taxable loss. So now that adds into, the total, it nets against the total income that they have for the month. So if you look at the NAV reserve, since I've been tracking this, the NAV reserve is the debit or credit. Like debit, that's how much they didn't, right? How much they lost. The credit, how much they made. So, again, I think they were in a profit. So maybe it was for tax reasons. Again, I don't know. I don't want to harp on that anymore. So let's move on. The net asset value of this fund is $912 million. The NAV is 25.65 and the trade price is 25.49. So obviously the billion is getting a little tough to hit because, the chips have seemed to like slow down a little, especially NVIDIA. But when it pops, I'm sure it'll pop pretty good. I feel like post forward split, it's been a little slow, but I wouldn't count NVIDIA out, but you never know. We'll see. So that's the summary for NVIDY. So again, interesting play. We'll see how it goes. Now, Coney, the one I almost missed, Coney did have a trade. Nice little quick trade. Again, little maybe strategy here, unusual trade, but they BC'd a portion of one of their their contracts, right? I believe it was 30,000 contracts they had linked to the 275 call that expires today. So they closed half of it, and then they decided to put a new position with that same half into next week with a 270 strike. So let's take a look at the numbers and how that affects us for this month. So if we go to Coney, Coney, by the way, they have a 250 synthetic position, expires 22 days, and they are 7.39% away from that. So we'll see how that goes. Now, as far as yesterday is concerned, how did Coin do? Well, not that great. Day prior, obviously the bloody day we'll go back to, they were down 4.88%. And then yesterday they were down 5.53%. So they did worse the day after the bloodbath day. So it's crazy. But we'll see. Coney also went down a decent amount. They went down 5.15%. So again, not a fantastic day. I did decide to buy some Coney. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I probably told most of you. But my strategy on Misty and Coney is a little different than these others. I'm going to buy them when they tank, all right? When they tank and when they're cheap. I consider $18 cheap for Coney. So I'm going to buy it, and if it recovers a respectable amount, say like 10% in a short period of time, I'm just going to sell it. I'm going to take the profit. And if it dips again, I'll buy it again. But if it dips and it keeps dipping, I'll just keep buying and averaging down, and it'll be part of my portfolio, and I'll get paid the distribution. And if I ever decide to keep it, then I'll keep it. But if not, for now, it's kind of like a trading tool for me. I usually don't trade YieldMax, but as far as Misty and Coney are concerned, I'm going to start trading them because I'm not going to say it's predictable, but you can get an idea of, what's cheap when it comes to those funds. Like when Misty was $24 not that long ago, I bought in, but I sold it. Maybe probably way too early, but now it's $29. It's crazy. All right, so anyway, Coney, they closed. If you see, I had to split up those, the 15,000. Why is that? I didn't put the date. I gotta fix the date. There you go. All right, so now I had to split up the 15,000 into two rows. So they paid 7 cents to close out half of that position. So if that position profitable, they made 6.2 million. They yielded 68%. So good job. Now that other half is still open. It expires today. We'll see what Coin does and how it plays out. Now the 15,000 though was used right away. They chose a strike price of 270, which is 16.6% out of the money. Damn. Wow. What did this yield? 83%. When is their earnings? 8-1. Okay. That makes sense. All right. So their earnings is next week. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Their earnings is 1 day prior to, the expiration date of this transaction. I didn't even realize that until I looked how far out of the money this position was. Obviously, they were able to go much further out and still get a yield of 83%. So, okay, is 16% out of the money good for 6 trading days plus earnings within those 6 trading days? You never know with Coin. I don't know, right? Last time I thought coin was going to go down on earnings, they killed it. So I don't know. I always say, let's see how this the stock leads up to earnings. Like if there's a huge sell-off on coin leading up to earnings, I don't know. This is just my opinion. I just feel like it doesn't even matter what earnings, unless it's completely horrible. Like if it's decent or a slight letdown, I feel like it'll still turn a little green. But we'll see. So yeah, interesting. Earnings on Thursday next week for coin. All right, so outstanding shares, we did have an increase of 325,000. So that's pretty damn good. All right, here's the summary. We got 30-day IV, 78%. That should get higher as time goes on leading up to earnings. Outstanding shares, 38,325,000. Total net income, again, that's a loss, though, of 40.2 mil. So, reaction, it's hard for them to jump for joy because they're having a little rough patch, a little rough month, which, it happens. It happens to the best of us. They do have synthetic income, though, for the month, 19.5 mil, but their short call income just destroys that because they lost 40.2 mil. So, again, as far as total income per share or weekly call income per share, there's nothing. It's not a good month, all right? It's not a good month. So what are they going to pay, though? That's the question. What are they going to pay? We shall see. We shall see. But it'll probably be in the dollar range. Outstanding holdings at the moment, they got, their synthetic, which expires on August 16th. And then they got 15,000 contracts expiring today, the other half. 15,800 contracts expiring today, and then 15,000 expiring next week. Their synthetic is not in a profitable position, so there's no synthetic bailout available to them at this moment. So they'll probably let that synthetic ride out a little. I don't know. We shall see. But the net asset value of this fund is 719.2 mil. The NAV is 1877, and the trade price is 1878. Okay. So that was Coney, and now, last but not least, what some consider the GOAT, or some consider, I think someone called it the beast, it's Misty. No trades, all right? But we can look at their synthetic. Their synthetic is actually profitable at this very moment. If they sold it, if they closed it, they would make some money, but it's up 3.64%. 8-1 is a busy day because 8-1 is earnings for coin, but 8-1 is also the 10-for-1 forward split on MSTY. So good Lord, that's going to be a busy day. I'm going to be driving home from my business trip for work that day. So I don't know. That's going to suck. But yeah, 8-1 next week. Good Lord. All right, let's move on. Next week is going to be rough. All right, so what do we got here? We got MSTR yesterday. It went down 3.96%. Bloodbath day, it only went down 2.85%. So similar to coin, had a worse day the following. MSTY only went down 2.27%. It's at 29.29. So I did buy 10 shares of Coney yesterday, but Misty I did not because I don't consider $29 a discount for Misty. But again, who knows? Maybe it is. Now, as far as their position leading up to today, their position expires today, so obviously they're going to have to cash settle this. They have all of their eggs in one basket, right? 2,535 contracts, 1675 strike price. Look at that. It is now 4.27% out of the money. I don't know if you guys remember, but they were not in a great position. They dipped 3 days in a row, down 4%, 2%, essentially almost 10% drop over the past 3 days, which looks to save them. So they may close out of this position at the open. You never know, because if MSTR flies, they could lose money. MSTR could easily go above 4.27%. In fact, they probably should have closed this yesterday. I don't know how much it would have cost them, but it may have been a wise idea to close it yesterday because MSTR could, again, when it flips green, oh man, it might be too late. I don't know. We'll check the pre-market. I have no idea what it's doing, but we shall see. Reaction, similar to Coney, they can't get too happy yet. even though, they're kind of winning at the moment. But because this is why they're not happy. They do have synthetic income, 6.9 mil, but the short call income, the loss exceeds. I didn't go through the other details on here, kind of jumping around. So no change to outstanding shares. But yeah, the recap, 30-day IV, yeah, look at that, 91%. Outstanding shares, 14.8 mil. And yes, here's the loss. So they lost 11.4 mil on the weekly, the short call income. So overall, it's a net loss of 4.5 million for the month. But hopefully they could flip that to a profit today if they win this weekly call and then they open the new one for next week. So we'll see. Distribution wise, no estimate to provide because, again, it's easier to provide an estimate when they're actually making money, not so much when they're actually have no profit for the month. All right, so what are we looking at now? We got the holdings. So we got, the call at the top in blue. Right now, okay, maybe that's why they didn't close it. It cost them about $9.37 to close that position. So if we look at how much they made on that same position, they made $48 per share. So if they close it at the open, again, at the open, we don't know what price it'll be. But as of the close yesterday, it was a $9.37. So should they have closed it yesterday and paid $9.37 per share? I don't know. Again, maybe not. Now, as far as the synthetic, again, it's a profitable position. So you see the orange is greater than pink. If orange is greater than pink, that's some good stuff then. But, that expires, August 16th. So they got time. And they got, time to make that decision. Net asset value of Misty fund is 435 mil. The NAV is 29.30 and the trade price is 29.29. Okay, so that's all 4 funds. Obviously, a lot going on yesterday. A very, very busy few days here. But let's now look at the pre-market. All right, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Tesla. I don't want Tesla to be green. I'm trying to do options here. I'm trying to sell puts. Hey, but whatever. All right, so Tesla's green. Tesla's up 2.11%. It's at 224.91. This is as of 5:27 a.m. Tesley is up 1.79%. It's at 1537. NVDY is up 2.38%. It's at 114.95. NVDY is up 1.84%. It's at 25.96. CONY, oh crap. CONY is up 4.69%. It's at 242.37. That does not bode well for MSTR. Coney is up 4.26%. It's at 1958. All right, MSTR, yeah, that's not good. Again, it's pre-market, anything can happen, but it is up 5% now, 5.07%. It's at 1688. What is our break even? What is our break even here? 1723. Okay, so we want it to be below 1675. Our break even is 1723. So they're above 1675, but little room until break even. But keep in mind, when I say break even, I'm talking about the value up until the close of today. If they try to close it early, I'm not saying anything under that break even price is a profit because they also have to consider the time value left in that premium that they will have to pay to close the position. Hopefully that makes sense. MSTY, oh, look at that, $30, man. Woo! MSTY is up 2.55%, $30.16. TSLL, you will never go down, will you? I got some puts expiring today, but I actually do want to get assigned. I'm not even kidding. So I may sell put in the money just to freaking get assigned on this. But the TSLL is up 4.01%, and it's at $11.15. TNA is up. Holy crap, what the hell? It's up 5.11%. It's at $48.51. AMDY is up 2.24%. It's at $14.18. Looks like some people are going to be taking profits today. Market looking green. AMZ is up 1.43%. It's at $20.54. Last but not least, hello Bitcoin. Bitcoin is also up. It's up 4.02%. It's at 67,282. So guys, it's Friday. Thank God. And I'm looking right now. There's a spider in the garage crawling right in front of my face. Isn't that awesome? Gotta love it. I was just going to say it's Friday and it's a great day. It's going to be green, but you know, the spider has come to ruin the party. But we have to appreciate spiders, right? Because they kill the flies, right? The flies are very annoying. So let the spiders do their job. However, if they are in the house, you know, not so much. But anyway, guys, as always, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. I wish I could show you guys the spider. So as always, you know, hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you were entertained. If not, we could try again tomorrow. All right. And if you guys did enjoy this content, I forgot to talk about likes in the beginning of the video, but if you don't mind, please remember to hit the like button. The spider is now going down to the ground and we'll be walking on the ground. But yeah, if you like this content, please remember to hit the like button. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comments below. Sorry, I'm trying to keep an eye on the spider for when I leave here because he's in my way. But yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, just let me know. If you want to help the channel even more, you could share it with your friends and family. Word of mouth, of course, is the best. All right. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's all I got for today. Again, if you made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging around. It's much appreciated. So guess what? It's keyword time. I didn't have a keyword, but now I do. Frickin' spiders, man. Frickin' spiders. So, frickin' spider decided to join the party, join the morning video. Should I leave him alone? Probably not, because he's in the house technically. But what do you guys think? Frickin' spider is the keyword. So if you want to prove that you made it this far in the video, that you watched the whole thing, all you have to do is type in the comments down below, frickin' spider. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for today. So let me upload this sucker for you, post it by 6:30 a.m. We'll get that live chat going. And if you want to continue the chat, by the way, we do have a Discord. If you guys want to join the Discord, the link is on my YouTube channel or one of the tools that are in the live chat. They could always share the Discord link if they please. All right. So if you guys don't mind, please feel free to do that. The spider is now on the floor, walking my direction. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later.